Hello everybody, and this is gonna be my tutorial for the advanced stuff in chapter 2. So I guess the advanced stuff would be Canoli, getting there, dealing with that crap, and then a couple of things in Stormdrains, some strats for the Jacknife chase, and yeah, that'll be pretty much it. There's not too many little things in this chapter that I didn't already mention, but let's just go over the things. So the annoying thing about canal skip is that it takes so long from the checkpoint to get there. Even though the skip itself saves like 40 seconds or so. A little bit more, I think. Or a little bit less. It's so ridiculously long to get there that even a second try wastes you time compared to doing the normal route. So the way you get up there is just climb on about this line and then side jump to the right as late as you can. Now if you get on this with speed, you'll get the distance easy. So what I always try to do is just like kind of curve in here with some speed. And that's pretty good. Or if you are like just down here, you can do the W space and then W later thing to get a bunch of height from a wall climb, and then you'll get up here, and then you can like take a sidestep here, then sidestep towards that. That way you can actually get off 3 wall boosts on this before you gotta avoid that hole in the wall. And then just keep on wall boosting, and there's another hole there you wanna avoid. This thing here saves about half a second to do, maybe a tiny bit more even. But it's kind of awkward. What I usually try to do is go a little bit past this line on the ground. So jumping from like right about here. The awkward thing is that if you miss it, you'll drop down here. But you can try it out if you want. It's not too bad. Or alternatively, you just climb this. It's the same animation, but for whatever reason, if you do it like that, you'll like kind of keep the speed going throughout the animation, so you'll land like there. But it's not that big of a deal. Here you can avoid the roll or just get the roll. Avoiding the roll is kind of risky and annoying because this thing you would have to land on is kind of slippery. It can push you off. So I'd recommend just doing it with the roll. Even though I think optimally avoiding the roll would be a tiny bit faster. And yeah, as you can see, it's easy to screw up there. I just speed this up from here. Basically, the most annoying thing about all of this skip is that the once you get down here, getting down here is kind of awkward as well. And then once you're down here, there's these little whatever walls here that you gotta avoid, but you don't want to run off into the abyss. And the thing you're standing on is like very, very thin. So yeah, I recommend just having the trainer on when you're getting here and making a save point even before you're like right about to do the skip. And actually you don't want to have a save right before the skip. So I recommend having it like here, just so you can sidestep, then do a wall boost there, and then you should be at max speed. Alright, so what Canoli is that you wanna kick, stare at that black thing there. It's gonna go into the corner of my screen. Depends a little bit on how high you're looking or low. But generally look about at that corner, I guess. And then once it's like right there on the corner of your screen, that's when you want to kick. So basically at about this line you want to kick. Then you want to land on this wall for enough that the kick turns. But this is kind of one of the hard parts, landing on this wall enough that the kick turns, but not for long enough that it loses a bunch of height. So you only want to run on this for like 5, 6, 7 frames. Something like that should work. I don't know if your brain works in frames. Mine does, clearly. And then on this wall, you want to get a straight kick glitch. And also, what I usually do before I hit the third wall is kind of wank the camera towards it. That way, for whatever reason, you'll keep some distance to the wall out of the kick glitch, and that way it'll be easier to get the last wall run. And this is kind of one of those tricks that, like, I don't know if this tutorial really will help anybody. It's just a thing you'll have to grind a lot to even get once, and then grind even more to get kind of consistent at. Alright, so missed that kick glitch there. Got the straight kick glitch along that. Later you do the first kick, the more height you'll have, but the harder it becomes to time, like getting into this wall run without accidentally boosting out of it. Ugh. And yeah, this out of bounds area is quite annoying. Can I even get this? Alright, so there we go. Took me a couple of attempts, like a lot of them, but yeah, that's Canoli. So yeah, just kick glitch right about here. Stay on that wall for as short as you can without getting a straight kick glitch, so stay on it for just a little bit so that it turns here. And also, right before the getting into the second wall run, don't turn your camera too far forward. I mean, you can probably get it that way, but if you just keep facing the wall with your camera relatively hard, you'll actually get the wall run a little bit higher. My god, Faith, stop doing that. Right. Then just there, right before you try to do the kick, just jank towards the wall a little bit and then click. That way you'll keep a bit of distance to the wall once you're in the kick. It's kind of weird how it works, but that's one thing that seems to make it pretty consistent for me. And then right before that wall you can like look to the right pretty hard, and then you can kind of react to getting the wall run even. So there we go. And usually right around here you'd be getting the checkpoint. You're gonna see if I kill myself, I'll spawn midair there, where Stormdrains would be. And then let me just hop on to Stormdrains. I think I didn't go over this button climb strat. This is like a pretty easy strat that you probably want to be adding on way earlier. Yeah, I recommend watching all of these, even if you're not gonna be doing the harder stuff that I mentioned, but there's a bunch of kind of semi-easy stuff. So, the way you get this is you gotta jump into a wall run a little bit, not from that far though. Oh, that's how I do it usually. You can probably get it out of a normal wall run, but I find it more consistent. But just jump into it. Yeah, like not jumping into it. I don't get it. Jumping into it, I do get it. So, just like a little bit away from the wall, right around the second light ends, I guess. And then just practice this. It's not... There's no real trick to it. Again, you want to just wait a little bit after the Q. And yeah, you don't want to hit Q like super early. Just climb a little bit on the wall, hit Q. And yeah, you need like max speed for this. If you fail it once, make sure you take like a proper step back so you can get the max speed there. Right, so onwards. And here again, remember, once it's past that mark, you can already slide under it.
Should be an exit on the other side. Looks pretty high up.
Right, so this strat here is something you might want to consider way earlier. So the way to keep the most speed through this is to like get the good animation out of this springboard. Up there, like that. Then jump into it. Then look at about that line where the like whatever support structure is. Look at about that line and sidestep.
Keep going.
And that way you'll just do that. And that's usually how I do it. It keeps way more speed throughout this than just jumping on that. And yeah, it's a pretty good strat. Also here with the railing jump, remember to land on the railing for just a little bit. If you try to scroll instantly, it'll keep the momentum that you had going with this jump, so it'll probably fly you like somewhere there.
Hey, getting something on the wires. Shit. Looks like
And I guess the next strat that I didn't mention, but this is basically a thing that you can try whenever, is just from this corner jumping into a wall run, then looking far out, and looking back in, and then vaulting the thing. Or quick climbing it, rather. Like that. It's basically the same kind of thing as the blue rail. Feels a bit different, maybe. Just remember to not start holding W too early. If you start holding W too early, you'll get the slow climb every time. Just delay it until you have almost all the height out of the jump. And then you just turn here. And the next strat is already here. You want to jump on this railing. From that you want to jump on top of the box. And then you want to jump and coil onto the ladder. Basically this just avoids the springboard, which drops your speed down a little bit. Because it makes you go in like this pretty awkward, like way too high upwards angle. And that is not good. So just like that, you want maybe just a little bit better hide out of that. Something like that, and then you can just instantly you gotta recognize what height you have, because like there I was high enough to do that. A couple of those times I haven't been. And right now I am again. Okay, that's too low. So then I get that, and then I get that, which is really slow. So instead what you want to do, if you're like this slow, you just want to take like, get up the ladder just normally and then do it. So that's way faster than getting all that awkward crap there.
Those snipers out.
Yep, then I guess avoiding the springboard, but it's pretty simple. You just jump on a wall run on this, and then make sure to jump before the end of this. This wall can be kind of awkward, especially if you like go over to the railing part before you jump. So I usually like jump pretty early on out of that. I guess some strategies here. What you can do is just do like Crazy Man's boost here, which is really fast. I think this is faster than doing the kick glitches that I do, but it's kind of risky. might actually switch to doing that. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Or what I've been doing now is just kick glitching, which is also pretty fast. The fastest way I think is just get a straight kick glitch into a wall boost there. But this is basically like segmented only. Because you can get enough height on this wall run, but it's kind of ludicrously hard. But yeah, whatever you feel like, you can just like do something like that. Just, I think the original strat I thought there was just to run. Alright, so this strat here. There was a tutorial on this, which is alright, but I want to give my 2 cents on this, like what I've learned from this strat and whatnot. So basically what this strat is you jump and coil on this railing, then you turn into a wall climb or a wall run on this wall, and then out of that wall run you jump into a wall climb on this thing, and then you just turn jump up there. So it looks like this. Right, so a couple of things to note. You can actually, like, when you're getting here, you can keep a bit better speed if you like. Don't stop here and then start holding W, but instead like do a bit of a circle. It's kind of weird, but at walking speeds it kind of sort of keeps your speed. So just like that. Then another thing to note is that you want to land on this railing for just a little bit. That way your jump will actually turn towards the wall. If you try to like scroll it, as you can see, the jump is kind of trying to go towards where I'm aiming, but it's not really succeeding.
What are you taking in the sights? The blues are already heading your way.
So you want to land on the railing for just a couple of frames or whatever. If you just use spacebar for that climb, it should be fine. I guess even with spacebar you can time it too early if you like really try. But just like wait until you hear the sound of her landing on the railing. And just do it. And I guess the angle you aim at the wall is pretty important. But there is a bit of leniency there. Like, it's better to aim harder at the wall, but if you're aiming really hard at the wall, you gotta remember to turn your camera back, otherwise that'll happen. And yeah, at the top you wanna like kinda swipe your mouse to the right to get the faster climb. I think otherwise that might happen. But yeah, this is relatively simple. But takes a while to get down really well. And yeah, out of there you can actually like do a nice kick glitch here. So wall boost across that, and then just kick glitch there, and you'll actually sometimes get even a double wall boost. I think you can get a triple as well, in which case you'll just like fly somewhere there. And this button is kind of weird, it comes with a delay every time. Right, so I guess the next thing to talk about here is elevator clipping. It's a pretty simple thing to do. Basically what you want to practice first is just jumping and doing this awkward looking turn into the elevator. Also keep holding W when you're doing this. Rek actually was having a lot of trouble with these until he figured that you gotta keep holding W. I had no idea holding W makes a difference here. I just always hold W in the game, basically. But yeah. Essentially, once you're at the corner, you can scroll. And that'll activate the button, making the elevator go up and confusing the physics. And then you'll go up a little bit as well, because you're jumping. And it'll clip you through the ceiling. But just practice doing this jump into the corner. Usually just take a couple of steps. I usually set myself up like at this corner, kinda. They're just looking at the corner and doing the thing. And successfully done, it looks like this.
Look, Jacknife may know something about Pope's murder, so don't let him wind you up.
Okay, so here, when the area loads, you want to be inside it. So it's kind of an awkward timing. You gotta sort of figure it out on your own, because it depends on your loads. All the loads are taken out anyway, so don't worry about time loss because of that. But yeah, for me, I gotta start moving from about the middle of the elevator when Merc is saying working. During that word, I gotta start moving. Otherwise, I'll stay up here. But I'll actually show you what you can do if you stay up here by accident.
God knows who he's working for now.
So that's when I was supposed to go, and now I'm stuck here. What? I actually got completely dropped off. That's great. Point was, if you get yourself stuck on this roof, what you can do is just drop down here. And you'll get a checkpoint. I'm not in the mode right now though to get checkpoints. Our strat right after the zipline is to just drop off to the left of it. Then do a nice little wall boost on this. And angle the camera so that you're aiming like there-ish. And what this will do is it'll give you a boost on this, then vault this, and then you'll keep the boost speed for an entire jump. And I think the speed vault even adds a little bit to it. I might be wrong on that though. So yeah, just like that. Awkward things about these are that if you aim too hard right... Lost him. So the awkward things about this is that if you aim too hard right, you'll like get stuck on that box and you won't be able to set this kick up properly, and you're gonna have to take a step back and it's awkward. And then if you go too straight forward, you hit this thing and the boosted jump doesn't go anywhere. But if you just aim like right there, you should be getting it. And then this kick glitch. This is a pretty easy one. I'll probably recommend it on my tutorial. I'll just add a link to this. And basically, this part of the wall you can wall run on, but all the other parts before it you can't. And you won't be able to get into a wall run on this if you've touched this wall, because that'll kill all the momentum you had going towards that wall. So you have to like jump into it from here, looking at the corner like this, and you gotta have pretty good speed. And you can time your jump just by whenever you see yourself pop up on the ledge there. So just like that. And having a little bit less of an angle is actually better. Again, what I usually do is I just like kind of jump sort of along it, and then when I'm right at the end, I start turning my camera a little bit to the right, and that way it'll catch the wall run whenever it can. And how you continue from this is just vaulting that, kick glitch, sidestep here, climb up on that, and normal things. Another thing I didn't mention on the noob-friendly things is this strat here. You want to speed vault this, and then scroll jumps on these pipes. You'll kind of hit the pipes, but you can't do a normal jump because you'll get like stuck in between them, sorta. But you don't want to scroll the jumps too hard either, because you want to get a wall run on this and then jump out of that wall run to get to the roof really, really fast. So what I usually do is try to look at the pipes, and when the second to last pipe like gets off camera, I can jump. So like right there. And that's how it goes. Sometimes you get that, which is also fine. Yeah, actually the cue I said was a little bit too late. It's like right before the second to last pipe leaves camera. This is a relatively easy thing. Well, it takes a bit of practice to get down, actually. And once again, you can kind of jump past that wall and then turn your camera into it. And then you'll get the wall run. We have a trend here. Just about turning the camera into wall runs. Because as you can see, if I just don't do anything, that'll happen. Which is actually good, because I want to be able to scroll jumps for that jump. Because if I don't scroll, if I try to like spacebar this... Well, now it worked with spacebar. Usually you just get like stuck there. Like that. So yeah, once again, don't like go along it. Or you can go along it as well, you just gotta be a bit more careful with your scrolling. And then strats for this section. The fastest strat is to just out of the zip line, you'll have speed, and then you'll just kick glitch on the on this, and then you land in the middle. Oh man, this save is kind of awkward. Now like this, and then you'll just kick glitch across. What I recommend doing though is just going over here, touching that wall, doing that, and you gotta roll that. For one, this is kind of an awkward angle to get right. Like sometimes you'll hit the pipes there, sometimes you'll get up to the rooftop. This is like just a second or so faster or slower to go to this orange wall. But it is way more consistent once you're good at it. Thing about this is though that sometimes you gotta coil it, so you gotta sort of learn to judge how much height you have. If you don't have enough, do that. And don't try to jump into it from like this kind of an angle. You wanna get to the kind of corner of the roof here. Yeah, sometimes stuff like this happens. You can just back out and do the kick. And actually, that is it for the advanced stuff here.